Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Today we're diving into something, well, especially important if you're listening in from Washington State.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to be exploring DYPSI,
DYPSI.
which stands for, get this, Discover Your Post-Service Identity.
Nice.
And it's a program run by Operation Military Family.
I see.
It's all about helping veterans transition smoothly
Right.
into civilian life.
Oh, that's so important.
It is.
Yeah.
We've got two great sources to help guide us today.
Okay.
One is like a super detailed FAQ,
Okay.
all about DYPSI.
Makes sense.
And then we have a blog post that focuses on like the mental health side of things,
A mental health side.
of transitioning to civilian life.
Makes sense because it's not just about finding a new job, right?
Right.
It's that whole like emotional adjustment too.
It's a huge shift.
Absolutely.
So I guess first things first,
Okay, lay it on me.
DYPSI is totally free for eligible veterans. Huge shout out to the sponsors that make that possible.
That's amazing because cost can be a real barrier for veterans seeking help.
Right. For
Sure. So the fact that DYPSI is free, especially in Washington and Texas, I mean, that's huge.
Definitely.
It really is.
And get this, the program actually sets you up with a personal introduction
Oh, wow.
to someone in your field.
No way.
I know, it's pretty incredible.
That's amazing. Like, not just advice, but actual connections.
Yeah. Talk about opening doors, right?
Right. It's like they're giving you that first step towards a fulfilling civilian career.
Totally. And it's not just any career, it's one that really feels like a good fit, you know?
Totally. Like the blog post talks about finding a new mission after service, and this introduction could be it.
Exactly. Okay, so let's dig into the four main parts of the DYPSI training.
I'm ready.
All right, so first up is rediscovering you beyond the uniform.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. It's like hitting the reset button.
Yeah.
Figuring out who you are now,
Yeah.
not who you were in the service.
Yeah. Like rediscovering yourself, your values,
Yeah.
your strengths, and how they all fit into this new chapter.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have identifying career pathways.
Okay.
So this is more than just like finding any old job.
Yeah.
It's about finding a path that feels right,
Right?
using your skills,
Yeah.
and actually enjoying what you're doing.
Finding that passion.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think this is where DYPSI can really make a difference, you know, helping veterans see those new possibilities,
For sure.
the ones they might not have even considered before.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, then we have quick opportunity assessment.
Quick opportunity assessment. What's that about?
So imagine being able to evaluate job offers like right on the spot
Whoa.
and just make those smart choices without all the second guessing.
Okay. That would be amazing, especially in a competitive job market.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then last, but definitely not least,
Taking me with it.
we have secrets of negotiation.
All right. I like the sound of that already.
So this is where you learn how to like advocate for yourself,
Right.
really articulate your value and get the compensation that you deserve.
Yeah. Knowing your worth, being able to negotiate, that's huge.
It is.
These are skills that go way beyond just the job search. You know?
They'll benefit you throughout your entire career.
Right. It's about that long-term success.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So those four components, they all work together to build this like rock solid foundation
Yeah, I see that.
for a successful transition. But it's not all about the practical stuff, right?
Right.
The blog post really dives into the emotional and mental side
That's so important.
of this whole journey,
Yeah.
which honestly can be just as challenging
Oh, Alex.
as all the practical stuff, like leaving the structure and the camaraderie of military life.
It's a big adjustment.
It is.
You know, you lose that clear mission, that support system.
Yeah.
And then there's the pressure to adapt to civilian norms.
It can feel like a lot.
It's a lot to handle for sure.
And that's where DYPSI's focus on mental health really comes in.
Okay. Yeah. Tell me more about that.
They don't just like acknowledge the stress, you know,
Right.
they actually give you these concrete tools
Okay.
to manage anxiety,
I like that.
recognize your triggers, and put your well-being first.
That's really powerful because it's saying that mental resilience is just as important as those professional skills
Totally.
for building a successful life after the military.
100%.
Yeah.
And, you know, they walk the walk.
Okay.
The blog post shared this story about a veteran
All right.
from JBLM
Okay.
who was struggling with anxiety after leaving the military.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
And through DYPSI,
Yeah.
he not only learned how to manage his stress,
That's great.
but he also landed a leadership role in Seattle.
Wow. That's fantastic.
I know, it's amazing.
Really is.
It's like the perfect illustration of DYPSI's approach.
It really shows how they're empowering veterans to not just survive, but thrive in all areas of their lives.
Right. thrive.
It's inspiring.
It is inspiring.
Absolutely. It's really inspiring to hear those success stories.
I know, right?
It really shows how DYPSI helps veterans navigate those like often overlooked emotional aspects of transition.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about finding a job.
No.
It's about rediscovering that sense of purpose.
Exact.
And like building a life that feels truly fulfilling.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know, one thing that keeps popping up in both the FAQ and the blog post is this idea of finding a new mission after service.
Yeah, totally.
It's like that purpose that was so like ingrained in military life.
Yeah.
It's suddenly gone.
Right.
And a lot of veterans, they struggle to fill that void.
Yeah, I can see that.
They're like, what now?
It makes sense because it's not just about finding any mission.
Right.
It's about finding one that really resonates with you,
Yeah.
aligns with your values, your skills, your aspirations for the future.
Totally. And it's interesting because DYPSI doesn't just tell you what your new mission should be.
Right.
They guide you through this like process of self-discovery.
I see.
So you figure it out for yourself.
That's a much better approach, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's like instead of just getting a new set of orders,
Right.
you're given the tools and the support to create your own mission, one that feels like authentic
Yeah, that's the key.
and meaningful to you personally.
Absolutely. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where those 4 core components of the DYPSI training come in.
Yes.
They're not just about landing a job, but about equipping you with the right mindset and skills to create a life that's both like purposeful and fulfilling, professionally and personally.
I love that.
Yeah.
So it's not just about checking boxes on a resume.
No, it's deeper than that.
It's about figuring out what truly matters to you.
Right.
And building a life that reflects those values.
Absolutely. And for veterans in Washington State, DYPSI takes it a step further, addressing those unique challenges of transitioning in that environment.
Yeah. Yeah, the blog post mentioned that, right? About how veterans in Washington, they can experience this sense of loss and disorientation when they leave the structured world of like military bases.
Yeah, like JBLM.
Like JBLM, exactly.
It's a big change.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, going from that strong sense of community and purpose on base to, suddenly not having it.
It's like that support system just disappears.
Yeah, it can be tough.
And without it, it's hard to navigate those feelings of like isolation and uncertainty.
It makes sense.
But DYPSI, they provide a framework for rebuilding that sense of connection and purpose.
That's so important.
So it's not just about finding a new job in Washington.
No.
It's about finding your place in this new community.
Yeah.
And creating a life that feels both grounded and fulfilling.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Grounded and fulfilling.
Yeah. And DYPSI, they help veterans in Washington do this in a few ways.
Okay. How so?
So first, they provide that personalized coaching and mentorship to help them navigate those specific challenges of transitioning in Washington.
That one-on-one support is so valuable.
Yeah, especially when you're feeling lost or overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
And they also connect veterans with like resources and support groups that are specific to Washington.
Oh, that's great.
So they can build those connections with people who understand what they're going through.
Right. That sense of community can make a world of difference.
Especially during those early stages of transition.
Yeah, when you're feeling kind of alone.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then finally, DYPSI helps veterans in Washington find a new mission.
Right.
By connecting them with opportunities that align with their values and their passions.
I see.
So this could be like anything from pursuing a new career path to volunteering in their community to starting their own business. Yeah, it's really about finding that niche, your purpose, and making a meaningful contribution to the community.
Right. Not just finding any job, but finding the right fit.
Exactly. And by addressing both the practical and emotional aspects of transition, DYPSI really empowers veterans in Washington to not just survive, but thrive in their new civilian lives.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
Yeah.
Now, let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about something that both the FAQ and the blog post emphasize.
Okay, what's that?
The importance of mental health and resilience during this transition.
Oh, that's so important.
It is, and it often gets overlooked.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's absolutely crucial for success.
Absolutely.
In any aspect of life.
Yeah.
Especially during a big change like this.
Huge change, yeah.
You're spot on. Transitioning to civilian life.
It can be really stressful.
It can.
Even for those who are like excited about the change.
Totally.
There's so much uncertainty, the pressure to adapt. Yeah. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
And the blog post really drove home the point that a lot of veterans, they struggle with anxiety, depression, or even PTSD.
It's understandable.
During this time.
Yeah.
And it's not something to be ashamed of at all.
No, not at all.
It's a natural response to such a big life change.
Absolutely.
And that's where DYPSI's focus on mental health really shines.
Okay, tell me more.
They don't just acknowledge the stress, they equip veterans with practical tools and strategies to manage those challenges and build resilience.
I was impressed by how deep they go into this in the FAQ.
Me too.
They talk about techniques for identifying your stress triggers, practicing mindfulness, building healthy coping mechanisms.
It's not just talking about mental health.
Right.
It's giving veterans like actionable steps they can take.
I like
to feel better and cope effectively.
That's really valuable.
It is.
And it's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Right.
They recognize that each veteran's experience is unique, and their coaches work with individuals to develop personalized strategies.
Yeah, that personalized approach is key.
It is.
Because what works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. So finding those tools and techniques that really resonate with you and incorporating them into your daily life.
Absolutely. And it's not just about coping with stress.
No.
It's about building resilience.
Right. That ability to bounce back from challenges and thrive in the face of adversity.
Resilience is such a crucial skill.
It is.
Not just for veterans, but for everyone.
Absolutely, because life is full of ups and downs.
It is.
And being able to navigate those challenges without getting completely derailed, I mean, that's key.
Yeah, to success and happiness.
Absolutely.
And DYPSI, they help veterans build that resilience by teaching them how to reframe negative thoughts, develop a growth mindset, and cultivate a sense of optimism and self-efficacy.
So it's not just about putting on a brave face. It's about, like, inner strength.
Exactly.
Mental agility.
Yeah, being able to handle whatever life throws your way.
Exactly. And by equipping veterans with these mental health tools and resilience building strategies, I mean, DYPSI really sets them up for success.
Yeah.
Not just in their careers, but in all aspects of their lives.
100%. Now, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
This idea of DYPSI connecting veterans with a personal introduction to someone in their field.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I'm curious to know more about how that works in practice.
Yeah, it's one of the most unique and powerful aspects of the program.
Yeah.
It's not just giving you a list of contacts. It's about making a genuine connection with someone who can offer guidance, support, and potentially even open doors to opportunities.
So it's like having a mentor.
Yeah, like a mentor.
Who is already established in your field.
Exactly.
Someone who can share their insights, their advice.
Yeah.
And even help you navigate those often hidden rules of the civilian workplace.
It's like having an insider.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And these introductions aren't random either.
No, they're very intentional.
They are. DYPSI takes the time to understand your skills, your interests, your career goals, and they carefully match you with someone who can truly add value.
That's a really valuable resource.
It is.
Especially for veterans who are new to the civilian world.
Right, and might not have that strong network.
Yeah.
In their chosen field.
And it's not just about getting your foot in the door.
Right.
It's about building a relationship with someone who can provide ongoing support and mentorship.
Yeah, so it's not just a one-time introduction. It's like a launching pad.
It is, yeah, for a long-term professional relationship.
It is, and that's just one of the many ways that DYPSI goes above and beyond to support veterans.
They really do.
In their transition.
They go the extra mile.
They do. Now, let's talk specifically about how DYPSI helps veterans in Washington State find a new mission.
That sense of purpose.
That sense of purpose, yeah.
Yeah.
We keep coming back to that.
It's important.
It is.
Yeah.
And the blog post highlighted some unique challenges that veterans face in Washington.
Yeah. What were some of those?
Especially when it comes to finding work that feels both meaningful and aligned with their skills.
That's a key point because Washington has a thriving economy.
It does.
But it's also a very competitive job market.
It is.
Especially in certain industries.
Yeah.
And for veterans who are transitioning from a military environment where their role and purpose were so clearly defined, it can be really tough to find their footing.
In this new landscape.
Yeah, it's a different world.
It is. And it's like they have all this experience.
Right. Tons of experience.
And potential.
So much potential.
But they don't always know how to translate that into a civilian context.
Yeah. It's a different language almost.
It's like a different language.
Yeah.
And they don't always know how to navigate the often unwritten rules.
Yeah, the unspoken rules.
Of the civilian workplace.
It's a whole different ballgame.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's where DYPSI comes in.
Okay, how do they help with that?
So, first and foremost, they help veterans in Washington identify their transferable skills.
Oh, that's smart.
So those skills that they developed in the military.
Right.
That are highly valued
okay.
in the civilian world.
So it's not just about what they did in the military.
Right.
It's about how those experiences translate into skills that employers are actually looking for.
Exactly.
Things like leadership, problem solving, teamwork, adaptability.
All those great skills.
It's a gold.
They are gold.
Yeah.
And once they've identified those transferable skills, DYPSI helps them articulate those skills in a way that resonates with civilian employers.
Okay, so like translating their military experience into civilian terms.
Yeah, it's about crafting a resume and cover letter that highlights those skills.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In a way that catches the eye of hiring managers.
Right, you got to speak their language.
You do.
Yeah.
And it's also about practicing those all-important interview skills.
Oh, yeah. Interviews can be nerve-wracking.
They can.
Especially in a new environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being able to confidently articulate their experiences and demonstrate how those skills can benefit a civilian organization.
That's key.
And it sounds like DYPSI takes a very hands-on approach to this.
Okay, tell me more.
Providing personalized coaching and feedback to help veterans refine their resumes.
Right.
Practice their interview skills.
Okay.
And really put their best foot forward.
Yeah, I like that.
In the job search process.
It's like having a personal cheerleader.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
And they also go a step further.
Okay.
By connecting veterans with potential employers in Washington.
Oh, wow.
Leveraging their network to open doors.
That's huge.
And create opportunities.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That might not have been available otherwise.
So it's not just about teaching the skills.
Right.
It's about actively facilitating those connections.
Exactly.
And putting veterans in a position to succeed.
Yes. And beyond those practical aspects of job searching,
right.
DYPSI also helps veterans in Washington find a new mission by encouraging them to explore different career paths.
Okay.
And think outside the box.
Yeah. I like that.
When it comes to their professional goals.
So recognizing that their military experience can open doors to a wide range of possibilities.
Exactly. Not just traditional military adjacent careers.
Yeah, that's important.
They encourage veterans to think about their passions.
Okay.
Their values.
Yeah.
What kind of impact they want to make in the world.
So it's not just about finding a job. It's about finding a career that feels aligned with their purpose.
Exactly. And for some veterans, that might mean pursuing a completely new field.
Oh, wow. A total career change.
A total career change.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. Something they never even considered while they were in the military.
Right. It's about embracing the opportunity for reinvention.
Yes.
And exploring all the possibilities that civilian life has to offer.
And DYPSI provides the guidance and the support to help veterans navigate that process of self-discovery.
Yeah. That can be a daunting process.
It can.
Especially on your own.
Yeah.
So having that support is huge.
It is. And find a path that feels truly fulfilling.
That's the goal.
That is the goal.
Yeah.
So it's not just about landing a job in Washington.
Right.
It's about finding a new mission.
Yeah.
A new purpose.
And building a life that feels both successful and meaningful.
Absolutely. And that's what makes DYPSI such a valuable resource for veterans.
It really is.
In Washington State.
Yeah. They're doing great work.
They are. It's a holistic program.
Yeah. It's impressive.
It is.
Very comprehensive.
That addresses both the practical and emotional aspects of transition.
Right.
Empowering veterans to not just survive, but thrive.
Yeah.
In their new civilian lives.
That's fantastic.
You know, it's really amazing how DYPSI seems to just like anticipate and address those mental hurdles that come with such a big life change.
It makes sense, though. When you think about it, you're leaving behind that familiar structure, that sense of camaraderie, a clear mission.
Totally.
It's natural to feel a bit lost, even if you're looking forward to what comes next.
It's like that feeling you get when you graduate. You know?
Oh, totally.
You're excited for the future, but there's also that uncertainty of, okay, what now?
Exactly. And for veterans, that uncertainty can be even bigger because the change is just so massive.
It is. It's not just a new job. It's a whole new way of life.
Exactly.
So how does DYPSI help veterans like navigate those feelings and build the resilience to not just cope, but actually thrive?
Well, the blog post highlighted the practical side of things. You know, DYPSI gives veterans those tools to manage stress, identify those triggers that can send anxiety through the roof, and prioritize mental well-being.
I love that they didn't just say, like, manage stress. They actually gave concrete techniques.
Yeah, right.
They talked about mindfulness, creating routines, even reframing those negative thoughts.
It's like they acknowledge that this isn't just about willpower. It's about having that toolkit of strategies to pull from when things get tough.
Totally. And what really stood out to me was the emphasis on personalized support.
Oh, yeah, that's so important.
It's not a one-size-fits-all program. They work with each veteran to figure out what works best for them.
That's huge, because what helps one person manage stress might be totally different for someone else.
Exactly.
Having that individualized guidance can make all the difference.
It really can. And this brings us back to that idea of finding a new mission in Washington State, which can be tough with the competitive job market here.
It can be.
And the blog post highlighted how DYPSI doesn't just focus on job hunting. They help veterans connect their skills and experiences with their personal values.
Right, to find work that feels meaningful.
It's like instead of just taking any job to pay the bills, they're guided to find something that gives them that sense of purpose, you know?
Yeah, a reason to get out of bed in the morning.
Exactly.
And that's where those personal introductions can be so powerful. Having a mentor in your field who understands the landscape, it can open doors and provide guidance that you just wouldn't get from sending out resumes.
Totally. So it's not just about getting a job. It's about finding a place where you can contribute, grow, and feel like you're making a difference.
And that feeling of making a difference can be so crucial for veterans who are used to serving a cause greater than themselves.
Absolutely.
DYPSI helps them translate that sense of service into a civilian context.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
DYPSI is free. It's comprehensive. It addresses both the practical and the mental aspects of transition.
It really does.
It's honestly pretty incredible.
It is.
And what does all of this mean for our listener, for you, if you're a veteran in Washington State, considering your next steps?
I think the biggest takeaway is that you don't have to go through this alone.
Yeah.
DYPSI is a resource that's specifically designed to support veterans in Washington, and it can make a real difference in finding a fulfilling path forward.
And the website, one more time, is https://operationmilitaryfamily.com. Knight-USES intake form.
Check it out.
Seriously, what have you got to lose?
Reaching out to DYPSI could be that first step towards not just a new job, but a whole new chapter in your life.
I love that.
One that's filled with purpose, growth, and that sense of belonging.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
It's been great.
Thanks for joining us as we explored this amazing program and all that it offers veterans in Washington State.
Absolutely. It was a privilege to dive deep with you.
Always a pleasure.
Remember, the transition to civilian life can be tough. But with the right support, it can also be an incredible opportunity for growth and transformation.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving for a life that feels meaningful and true to you.